Hello, welcome to On Cue. My name is Sean Robertson, manager of the Florissant Civic Center Theater. For those of you not familiar with the show, we like to get a couple of cast members or production staff from one of the local community theater groups on and talk about one of the upcoming productions at the Florissant Civic Center Theater. Today, we'll be discussing the Alpha Players production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Now, Charlie Brown is a 1967 musical comedy with music and lyrics by Clark Gesner, based on the characters created by the cartoonist Charles M. Schulz and his beloved comic strip Peanuts. The musical has often been popular choice because of its small sets and small cast. And now joining me today are the director, Ken Clark, and we have Joel Brown, who will be playing Charlie Brown, which is that works out really well in your favor, and that makes it really easy for me to get your name right today. Guys, thanks for being here today with us, and we'd like to know a little bit about you guys before we get started about talking about the show. So let's start with you, Joel, and where are you from? Are you from the area?
I am. I grew up in Maplewood, a little bit south of here, and I lived in 3 different houses on the same street growing up.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school? What high school is that?
I was actually homeschooled.
You were homeschooled?
Yes.
Okay.
But I did go to a homeschool co-op called Dayspring.
Okay.
And that's where I started theater.
Dayspring School for the Arts,
yes.
Which is... they also do a lot of shows at the Florissant Civic Center
yes.
Theater, and have produced a lot of talented people in the area, and I've seen a lot of their work over the years here. So you're from the area. How'd you get involved with going to Dayspring? Because I'm sure that's sort of where that pushed you towards the arts.
Yes. Well, I have a lot of friends who did it in high school as well, and so I had heard about it, and my sister did theater before me, and that's actually what made me want to do theater. And so we heard about Dayspring, did a show with them for 3 years, once every year,
okay.
Sophomore, junior, senior year. And then in college, I kept doing theater. And then
where'd you go to college?
I went to John Brown University.
Wow, there's a lot of
Browns going on
yes,
here.
And you were actually, we'll get to that later in a minute here. But is this your first show with the Alpha Players?
It is, yes.
Okay. And have you done other community theater group work around the area?
Yes. So far, the only other companies that I've worked with are Next Generation Theater Company and then Christ Memorial Productions.
Okay. What were some of those shows?
I was in Seussical, I played Horton,
Okay.
and I was just in Meet Me in St. Louis, and I was Lon Smith. And I'm trying to think.
Oh, it's all right. Take your time. We'll find out everything we need to know about you
okay.
here. Can you tell us about auditioning for the show? Were you hoping to get Charlie Brown? Or?
I actually did Charlie Brown, the show, back with Dayspring, and I played Schroeder.
Okay. That was about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago?
Oh, no, that was...
okay.
That was in 2011.
Okay.
So that was 7 years ago.
Oh, boy.
And then I actually did Charlie Brown with Next Gen last year.
Last year, that's
and I
when
was
they did
Charlie
it.
Brown then.
Okay.
So I was wanting to either revive my role as Charlie Brown or Schroeder. Either one would have been fine. Yeah, so that was my reason for auditioning, I guess.
All right. Well, Ken, I've worked with you on lots of shows over the years over at the Civic Center, and you're now with the Alpha Players directing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And so how'd you end up getting involved with the Alpha Players now?
We were talking about shows that they were interested in doing, and small musicals in particular. And so as we were talking about shows that I was interested in directing, this is a show that was on my list of ones I would like to do, and other groups I've worked with hadn't chosen it yet, and so Alpha said, well, let's talk. And they put it in their season and asked me if I would consider directing.
Now, I've actually never really asked you how you really got involved in theater. Let's get the history here. How did you get
I guess
started?
In high school, it started with seeing my brother who sang and was in shows.
Everybody's got an older sibling that gets them involved. Same here. Yeah.
I think I ran Spotlight for South Pacific, and so all of a sudden I'm like, well, I think I could do that as well. But I also took shop, and so the shop class built the sets, and the art class we would learn about drawing the pieces and forced perspectives, and it just kind of all came together.
It takes a lot to go into theater production. You can tell from what he just said, just all the different facets you need to know in order to even put this stuff together. And it's good to have all that knowledge as a director going in, so that you can have a broader, view of the whole project.
Right.
All right. I actually have a story about You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. That's a personal experience. It was the first show I ever worked on. In 8th grade, I ran the spotlight for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I auditioned for it, but I did not get the role. And of anything, I got the role of spotlight operator is what I got. It's like, you can do this job in the old gymatorium in middle school, and
Nope.
Our one light was the spotlight. So, they were pretty dependent on me. But we were supposed to do 2 performances, and our first performance that night, we had tornado warnings roll through, and we spent the whole evening huddled in the hallways of our middle school, and we didn't ever even get to do the show that night. So we got to do 1 performance only of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. So that's my Good Man, Charlie Brown story, but I wanted to make sure I told that because it was my very first theater experience.
And I'm sure the spotlight work was fabulous.
Oh, it was right on. I never missed a cue, and I really didn't. But what can you tell us about the show and what to expect from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown?
Well, I think most of the people that I talk to about this show, the common theme is it's just fun. It's a cute story. It has cute music. It's family friendly. And a lot of people, as we were talking the other night at rehearsal, some people were talking about they didn't realize how many of their friends were posting Peanuts characters in their Facebook feed. And nothing to do with our show, but it's just one of those beloved shows, one of those beloved comic strips that goes back many generations. And so I think for me anyway, it's great that this is a show that I can see grandparents bringing their grandkids to, and people who have stories.
Generational.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, it's a lot of fun. Watching the cast at rehearsals, last night there were several giggle moments because it's a funny show. And here they are.
Stop the rehearsal, get everybody settled back down because nobody can keep a straight face. And those are great moments for rehearsal.
They're playing little kids, yet they're adults.
Yes.
But the interactions and the day in the life of Charlie Brown, it's things there's something everybody can relate to.
Do you have a favorite part of the show? Now, we don't want to spoil anything, but favorite moment that you enjoy doing every night at rehearsal?
I've always loved Glee Club rehearsal because I don't really do all that much in that one. I'm mostly just there reacting to everything that's happening as they're fighting.
Those are sometimes some of the more fun moments on stage, but you get to just sort of interact, and, and you don't have to be the center of focus. And, at least from my experience, I'd rather just be standing in the background hiding. But anyway, where does the show actually take place? Is there a particular set? I know there's set pieces. There's usually like playground pieces and things like that, and I know there's parts that are set in different areas. But where does Charlie Brown actually? Where does Peanuts actually take place? Do you know?
I think it's in Anytown, USA.
Okay.
It's and it is. It's we see him at his house and coming out of his house and going to the mailbox and obviously feeding Snoopy. There's clearly parts of it that are taking place outside at the schoolyard and at the baseball field, but it's a neighborhood. I think I would say it's probably on his street.
Okay. Tell us about some of the characters that we might see in the show. Some of the favorite Peanuts characters. Who do we got? Do we have Snoopy?
So we have Snoopy and his antics about when he gets fed and how much he likes supper time. It's one of the iconic numbers of the show for a lot of people. They remember when they saw it or who played it. And
he does the Red Baron.
And he does. He starts Act 2 with the Red Baron character that he was famous for in the comic strip. So Lucy and Sally are the 2 females characters that are in this revised production of the show. And then Schroeder on piano and Linus with his blanket.
That's right, Linus with his blanket. Oh my goodness.
We also have a young lady who's a dancer who will be playing the role of, the non-speaking role of Woodstock.
Woodstock, okay. I don't know if we did have a Woods. Is that something original to your show?
Not original to our show. Some
Okay.
people have used Woodstock for a couple of bits as far as we'll keep secret, but
Absolutely,
come see the show.
yes, you got to come see the show. Tell us about some of your staff working on the show, because there's a lot more that goes on than just the actors and the director, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. You have stage managers, lighting and sound technicians, and assistant directors, and costumers, and music direction. Can you tell us about some of those people, and we'll give them a little plug here, because I
Sure.
always like to give recognition to the tech staff, because I know how much they do personally.
well, I'm fortunate because with all the shows that I've done over the years, I have many people from crews that have worked with
Yeah.
me before coming back. So
Pull from your, yes.
absolutely. So those who
Rolodex, so to
saw
speak,
a
yeah.
production of Nonsense that I directed 2 years ago now, many of that same crew is back on
Okay.
this show with me. Musical director is Carla Curry.
Okay.
She's been helping us out. Some of these songs that we talk about have a lot of interesting harmonies and are more difficult than you'd expect for a little cute show.
Yes.
So Carla has been getting us through that. My assistant director is Tanya Burns.
Okay.
Light and sound guys that I've worked with before, Brian Borgstead on sound, Bob
Brian.
Veach on lights.
Brian and Bob up
Yeah.
in the booth. You'll be in good hands.
And
All right.
the iconic costumes of Gene Heckman will be back for all
Okay.
the characters.
Well,
Oh, and choreographer is Stephanie Kluba.
okay. That's a talented group of backstage professionals there, really. Anything else you want to say about the show?
Well, if you like watching adults act like kids, I guess. not, yeah. I don't know. It's definitely a lot of fun. I've had so much fun working on it with everyone. Yeah, it's going to be really enjoyable.
And as you said, it's a show for all ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it reaches out, bring your grandma, bring your grandchild.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's Charlie Brown, who we've seen everything from Lucy pulling the football away is another classic scene. In that Charlie Brown always seems to have not great luck, but in the end, it talks about
Did
what
you
makes.
say "aw shucks"?
Yeah.
Is that a line?
Good grief.
Good grief. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But at the end of the
Good
day,
grief.
it talks about the happiness and having friends, and that's really the message of this show.
Well, guys, thanks a lot for being here with us today. I just have one last little message I want to say about the Alpha Players and all the community theater groups that we have here in Florissant. They're dedicated to putting on professional shows right here in our backyard, and that you can't ask for anything more than that. That you can come out to the Florissant Civic Center Theater and see professional quality shows right here in your backyard. And we want you to come out and support your community and the arts. It's really important that we support the arts nationwide. But Charlie Brown opens May 18th at the Gary R. Gatis Auditorium at the Florissant Civic Center Theater. It has performances May 18th and 19th at 7:30 p.m. and May 25th and 26th also at 7:30 p.m. and closes on a Sunday matinee May 27th at 2 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults, $18 for seniors and students, and $12 for children 12 and under. For tickets, please call the box office, area code 314-921-5678. Oh, also, the second weekend performance, the Saturday, the 26th, has a special student price. I believe that is $10 student ticket for that second Saturday performance, so don't miss out on that. And check us out online at www.florissantmo.com. Don't miss out on your good man, Charlie Brown. Guys, thanks again for being here with us today. Stay tuned for the calendar of events. Our Family Theater Series for the 2018-19 season. You can get your season tickets now. And our shows are as follows. We'll begin the season with Pete the Cat in November, and that runs from November 13th through the 18th. and that's from TheaterWorks USA. It's a new musical based on Pete the Cat series of books by Kimberly and James Dean. When Pete the Cat gets caught rocking out after bedtime, the cat catcher sends him to live with the Biddle family to learn his manners. That's our first show in the season, and that'll be in November. Second show will be in January of 2019, and that is Cat in the Hat, everybody's favorite Dr. Seuss. Comes to life in this mischievous form, with his red and white striped hat and around the door, and Sally and her brother know that the Cat in the Hat is the funniest, most mischievous cat that they have ever met, and that is in January of 2019. We will then have Penguin Goes to Flight School, brought to us by Vital Theater Company. It's the same group that brought us Pinkalicious this past year. And Flight School, it's the first day, and where they teach birds to fly. Penguin has the soul of an eagle and is ready to live on the wind, but he wasn't built to soar, as the other birds constantly remind him. Penguin's spirit, though, won't be grounded. And that is Penguin Goes to Flight School, and that'll be in February of 2019. And then in March of 2019, we're really proud to bring this show back to the area here. We had them here about 6 or 7 years ago, and that is The Ugly Duckling by the Lightwire Theater, which brings a classic tale to the modern stage in an unforgettable theatrical experience. Lined with, this is a tough one here, electroluminescent wire, the beloved story of the Ugly Duckling plays out on the stage through a cutting-edge blend of puppetry, technology, and dance. Dazzling visuals, poignant choreography, and the creative use of music ranging from classical to pop, this production brings the story into a new and brilliant light. We had this show here a few years ago, and I've never had better feedback on a show for the kids. This is one for the whole entire family. I don't care how old you are. This is a visual experience that everyone should come out and see. And season tickets are only $24 for all 4 shows. That is a deal. A regular ticket price is $8, so get your season tickets now. Call our box office, and we'll get you straightened out for some of those. Also, coming up this summer, we want to let you know about some of our free concerts at St. Ferdinand Park. We'll start our concert series, Music Under the Stars, with our annual Independence Day concert on 4th of July, with the Northwinds Concert Band at the James J. Egan Center, and with fireworks to follow. And some of the other bands to look forward to this summer is we will have Rockin' Chair on July 14th, Steve Ewing, former lead singer of The Urge, July 21st. We'll have the Smash Band back on July 28th, legendary guitarist Billy Peake on August 4th, and on August 11th, Butchwax and the Hollywoods featuring Theo Peoples from the Four Tops. Now, lastly, we just want to let you know you can call us 9 to 5 Monday through Friday at our box office, area code 314-921-5678. Visit us online at www.florissantmo.com. Give us a call. Come out and see a show. We've always got something great going on, whether it's in the parks or if it's at the theater. We stay busy over there. We've got things for all ages, for the little kids and for the grown-ups. And so come out and see a show. Thanks for watching On Cue.